You'd think by 2025, with all the tech and competition out there, most pistols would be pretty solid across the board. But that's not always the case. Some firearms just can't shake off their bad habits, whether it's constant jamming, poor construction, or just weird design choices. And while some of these names might surprise you, we're ranking them based on real testing, 1,000 round reviews, mechanical issues caught on camera, and yes, plenty of first-hand frustration. Some of these picks might sting, especially if you own one, but hey, the numbers don't lie. Let's kick it off with a pistol that pretty much lives on a budget shelf for a reason. Number 10. Hi-Point Pistols, 380 and 9mm. The Hi-Point. You already knew this one would make the list, didn't you? These pistols go for just a little over $100, and that's pretty much the highlight. Built with a chunky blowback system and a slide that feels like it was forged from spare car parts, the Hi-Point jams almost like it's on a schedule. On average, users report failures about every 20 rounds. For context, that's about 2 magazines before something goes wrong. Now, to be fair, they're made in the US, and they've helped thousands of first-time buyers get into shooting. That's admirable, but when it comes to reliability, they're closer to a lottery ticket than a life-saving tool. And if you're looking for a budget-friendly alternative, you'd be way better off grabbing something like the Taurus G3, which comes with better ergonomics and way fewer malfunctions. Number 9. SIG P320 Series. Now here's where things start to get a little more controversial. The SIG P320 series has massive popularity. It's modular, customizable, and was even adopted by the US military as the M17 and M18. Sounds like a winner, right? Well, not exactly. Here's the thing. We've tested around 6 to 10 P320s from various batches and setups, and nearly every one had some issue. The most common? Magazine sensitivity, feeding problems, and the occasional stovepipe. Some of it might be ammo-related, but other pistols in the same test chewed through the same rounds just fine. Then there's the whole mechanical discharge controversy. The P320 has been accused, on more than one occasion, of firing when dropped or bumped. SIG tried to address this with an upgrade kit, but the damage was already done. The pistol is still popular, but if you're asking whether it's as reliable as a Glock or S&W M&P, the answer is a pretty firm no. It's like buying a sports car with an oil leak. Fun when it works, but risky when it counts. Number 8. Taurus 608 Revolver. You wouldn't expect to see a revolver on a list of unreliable pistols, right? That's what makes this one hurt even more. The Taurus 608 looks good on paper. 8 shots of .357 Magnum, a 6-inch ported barrel, and plenty of weight to soak up recoil. But then you start pulling the trigger and things go south. This revolver has been notorious for timing issues. Some cylinders won't rotate properly, others give light primer strikes, and in a couple of tests, it failed to fire every single round in one cylinder. The biggest frustration? It had all the makings of a dependable range gun, but it just couldn't deliver. At the end of the day, this is one of those guns where you look back and think, should have gone with a Smith & Wesson. Next up are some surprising names. Yes, even big brands aren't immune to failure. Stick around as we move into the top 7. You won't believe who shows up next. Coming in at number 7 is the Angstadt Arms MDP-9. Now this one had everyone excited at first, and for good reason. A roller-delayed blowback pistol caliber carbine that promised performance similar to the legendary MP5? That's the kind of pitch that gets gun enthusiasts hyped. With its sleek, modern design and compact build, it looked like it was going to be the next big thing in the PCC world. On paper, it checked all the right boxes: compact, modular, and with a system that was supposed to reduce recoil and enhance reliability. Sign us up, right? But that excitement didn't last long. Once shooters got their hands on it and started putting rounds down range, the MDP-9 quickly revealed its true colors. Despite boasting a premium price tag north of $3,000, the performance was anything but premium. Users encountered non-stop malfunctions, constant jamming, feeding failures, and a shooting experience that was more frustrating than fun. The worst part? Even after sending the gun back for manufacturer repairs, the same problems persisted. It became clear that this wasn't just a lemon, it was a design that didn't live up to its promise. People who once wanted one were now warning others to stay away. Resale value? Practically non-existent. The dream of a reliable modern MP5 alternative? Completely crushed. And for a gun that costs $3,000, that kind of disappointment hits hard. At number 6, we've got the Springfield Prodigy, a 2011 style double-stack 9mm pistol that promised a whole lot. Priced around $1,500, it looked like the budget staccato many shooters had been waiting for. But after the honeymoon period, the internet lit up with complaints. Multiple shooters reported around 20 malfunctions in just 1,000 rounds. That's failure to feed, failure to eject, and even parts fitment issues. Not exactly what you want in something modeled after competition-grade pistols. It wasn't just one bad batch either. The issues were consistent across several user reports. The hype was massive, but reality didn't measure up. If you're serious about 2011 platforms, you'd be way better off saving up for a Staccato or Bull Armory. Sure, they cost more, but at least they run. And now at number 5, meet the Fight Light Raider. If nothing else, this gun scores points for looks. It's got this wild space pirate vibe, an AR-style pistol with no stock, a vertical grip up front, and a compact 7-inch barrel. It's an eye-catcher, but the problems start once you pull the trigger. The Raider runs a direct impingement system with that super short 7-inch barrel, and that's a recipe for failure right there. The short dwell time means the gas system doesn't have enough pressure to cycle reliably, and that results in constant failure to extract issues. It's fun to look at, sure, but it's the kind of gun you bring to the range once and then spend the rest of the afternoon clearing malfunctions. In theory, it was supposed to be a compact AR that still packed a punch, but in practice, it just didn't hold up. Alright, let's dive into the top 4 worst guns on the list. These are the ones that truly earned their reputations through consistent failure, sketchy builds, and the kind of issues that make you wonder how they ever made it to production. Here's where things go from disappointing to downright dangerous. Starting at number 4, we've got the Car CW380. On paper, this was supposed to be a solid self-defense option, compact, lightweight, and easy to conceal, but in practice, total letdown. The CW380 was plagued with light primer strikes, failure to feed issues, and slide problems that made it more of a risk than a reliable carry piece. What made it worse was that for a while, fans defended it, blaming ammo, technique, or break-in periods, but over time, the truth became unavoidable. It just doesn't work well. And when it comes to something you might have to trust your life to, that's a hard pass. A self-defense pistol should go bang every time you pull the trigger. This one just didn't. Coming in at number 3 is the SCCY CPX2, and yeah, we get it, it's cheap. You can grab one for around $200 to $300, which makes it appealing for first-time buyers or folks on a tight budget. But it's a classic case of you get what you pay for. The CPX2 is a double-action-only pistol, which already makes the trigger feel long and heavy. But the real problems show up when you start shooting. Users have reported everything from double feeds to light primer strikes, and sometimes even failures to reset the trigger. It's one thing if a budget gun feels cheap, but when it fails consistently, it's just unsafe. Shockingly, some shooters have even said they'd rather carry a high point, and that tells you everything. Honestly, if you're looking for something affordable that still works, you're better off going with a Taurus G3. It's in the same price range, but at least it doesn't jam every magazine. Now, at number 2, we've got the infamous Remington RP9. A gun that many in the firearms community once crowned the least reliable 9mm on the market. This full-size pistol looks decent and had that Remington branding, but it quickly became a cautionary tale. Testers were lucky if they could get 2 or 3 rounds off before a jam. It didn't matter what ammo you used or how well you maintained it, the RP9 just didn't want to work. But the issues didn't stop at reliability. The ergonomics were poor, the grip felt awkward and oversized, and the trigger slap was real. It hurt some shooters to fire it for extended periods. Between the constant malfunctions and the uncomfortable handling, the RP9 became a meme in the gun world. It's no surprise Remington stopped pushing it. And finally, sitting comfortably, or rather uncomfortably, number 1 is the Taurus PT-22. This little pocket pistol is legendary, for all the wrong reasons. Based on the Beretta Tomcat's tip-out barrel design, the PT-22 took that concept and then paired it with low-quality materials, poor machining, and catastrophic failure potential. And we're not exaggerating, There are reports of the barrel and magazine falling apart while firing. On top of that, it suffered from non-stop feeding and ejection failures. For a .22, sure, you expect some ammo sensitivity, but this thing takes unreliability to a whole new level. Some people bought it as a plinker or even a backup carry gun and quickly realized they'd made a terrible mistake. Between its fragile design and lack of function, the PT-22 is the kind of firearm that makes even High Point look like a premium choice. It's the textbook definition of avoid at all costs. So there you have it, 4 guns that not only underperformed but dangerously failed their users, with issues ranging from catastrophic malfunctions to poor design. These firearms highlight why trust and reliability are non-negotiable, especially in self-defense. Not every deal is worth the risk, and these examples prove it. Always research before investing in a firearm. Stay safe, make informed choices, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more honest reviews.